Hello and welcome to UK Property Accountants. My name is Chirag Majitia. I'm an analyst at the marketing department here at UKPA. Today I'm joined by Merisha, a chartered accountant with the Association of Chartered Certified Accountants. She's a member of the Client Services and Tax team as a senior associate here. Today we're going to touch upon Incorporation Relief. Welcome to the show, Merisha.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a bit about what Incorporation Relief is?
Yes, of course. So, incorporation relief, it's a type of capital gains tax relief which is given for individuals who are running their business either as a sole trader or through a partnership, and now they are trying to transfer their business into a limited company.
Merisha, I'm sure there are a few conditions for incorporation relief. Could you please tell us what those conditions are?
Actually, there are four. So let me break it down to you. So first one is the individual must be either a sole trader or a partnership. Second one is they must transfer the business as a going concern. Third one is they must transfer all the assets that they have in the business except for cash. And the last one is the consideration must be wholly or partly in exchange for shares.
You mentioned earlier how incorporation relief is a part of the capital gains tax relief. What happens to CGT when incorporation relief is applied?
So, whenever you transfer the business or business assets into a limited company, there is immediate capital gains tax charges. Therefore, this is where the incorporation relief comes into play. So, how it works is the capital gains, which would have been charged, it's deferred onto the shares of the company. So, as I mentioned earlier, one of the condition is in exchange for wholly or partly of shares. So, the capital gains, which would have been payable, it's deferred onto the shares.
Merisha, what happens if the incorporation transaction includes other considerations in addition to shares? For example, let's say money.
Yeah, that could be one of the real life example that we come across. So in that situation, the relief is restricted. So we discussed about how the incorporation relief works. That is, it defers the gains onto the shares. So if any client is giving the money in exchange, then the incorporation relief will be restricted, which will be a portion to that amount.
For those viewers who do not know what a consideration is, could you please give us all an example?
Yeah, of course. So you gave an example earlier in the question, which was the money. So any type of cash consideration which is given by the company, it's also a consideration which will restrict the incorporation relief. And if I have to give you another example, it's the personal liabilities which is taken over by the company. So in that case also the incorporation relief will be restricted.
Merisha, how could an individual apply for incorporation relief?
So, in addition to the benefits that the incorporation relief gives, one of the benefit is also that the incorporation relief does not have to be claimed. So, it's given automatically if the individual satisfies all the conditions. However, in case HMRC were to inquire in the future, the individual must ensure that they have all the relevant documents or evidences to back it up.
Merisha, by the looks of it, incorporation relief sounds pretty simple. Is that really the case?
No, unfortunately, that's not the case, Chirag. When an individual is transferring their business into a limited company, there are liabilities involved. So, in that case, the liabilities might be counted as a consideration in some cases. So, one has to be super careful when they are applying for incorporation relief. Therefore, we would advise any individual to seek professional advice before they opt for incorporation relief.
Thank you for your time, Merisha, and the wonderful insight on incorporation relief. As Merisha mentioned, there are quite a few complexities when it comes to incorporation relief. If you or anyone else you know needs any help when it comes to the incorporation relief, feel free to give me or a colleague of mine a call. We here at UKPA offer a free 15-minute discovery call where we ascertain your situation and let you know of the services that best suit your need. Thank you for watching.